everyone, my name is Geeky Gaia. Welcome to my channel. Today's episode is going to be on the Yashahime episode 12, The Night of the New Moon and the Black-Haired Toa. So the episode begins with Konton of once again watching over the three girls, and Nikosin, a human sage who was turned into a demon, so he is actually a half-demon. Because he is half-demon, he figures that he will probably be the best suited person to go after the three girls. We pick up with Toa and Setsuna talking with Kohaku, as Kohaku tells them that the demon Nikosin is drying up the mountain and scaring villagers, and asks Setsuna to look into it. And Toa, of course, is more than happy to help the villagers as they are scared. We later find out also that Moroha is also looking into the incident about the mountain and is also going to be going after Nikosin. Of course, all three girls, once again, fate has brought them together to go after another demon. I think it's funny that all three girls are still kind of like battling with the fact that they are constantly being put together. They're constantly going after the same matters. Fate has just brought them together. I think at this point they should just already accept it. Especially Setsuna. The last episode, she was doing really well, and she was starting to come out of her shell and starting to be a little bit more lenient with her sibling Toa, but it seems like we're right back into it with Setsuna. As they approach Nikosin, Toa notices that she is not able to sense Nikosin, which is one of the first signs that she is starting to lose her power, and even Setsuna starts to notice that her heartbeat is beating faster than usual, which is also interesting because I've immediately thought of an episode where Sesshomaru can hear the heartbeat of Rin's heart as she's coming back to life after she's brought her back to life. So I thought that was really interesting and kind of like a tiny little nod to that as Setsuna sensed Toa's heartbeat. As Toa's condition starts to worsen, Moroha takes care of her as Setsuna goes after the fleeing Nikosin. But of course Moroha finds out that the real main body of Nikosin is actually there in front of them as his head regenerates, which I think is super funny that Moroha is like, oh, cool, a regenerating head. I can constantly get new money, more money out of it because your head regenerates. So then we start to see Toa's transformation even more as her hair starts to lengthen. Yes, I thought in the episode preview from last week that it was just my imagination that her hair was growing, but indeed it is growing. And her hair turns black, as well as her eyes. I noticed her eyes color actually does change from a reddish color to a brownish hue. When Moroha figures this out, it's a little too late. Nikosin drops them into the river, and Moroha takes Toa into hiding into a little cave. With Toa and Moroha now hidden behind a barrier by Moroha's creation, I thought that was really cool to see another kind of ability that Moroha has to create this barrier, although the sutras that were used was because of Myoga, but I thought that was really cool to see that little feature that she has, a new power, and also because, like her mom Kagome, she has spiritual powers, so that was pretty neat to see. So Myoga goes to explain to Moroha, who actually is not familiar with the transformation of half-demons turning into humans, which I thought was super interesting, but Myoga says that her condition bypasses the rule because she is a quarter demon. Toa then asks Myoga if she loses her powers on the night of the new moon, shouldn't Setsuna, because they are twins. Come to find out that Setsuna actually bypasses the rule of transforming into a human on the night of the new moon because of the dream butterfly. So not only are her dreams and her sleep being taken away, but now we're finding out that she can't even transform into a human, which is super interesting. So I wonder if, because she's had this dream butterfly and it's taking her sleep and giving it to Rin, I guess whoever was in charge of doing this to her, did they know that it was also going to protect her from turning into a human? I also thought it was really cool that Myoga brought up Naraku's name as he was explaining that other half-demons are a little different when it comes to transforming on the night of the new moon, or in Naraku's case, as he explains, can be something that they choose. So Toa also brings up in this concept that she never transformed when she was in the modern era, which I thought was really interesting because Miyoga says that the reason that she doesn't transform is because she was originally from the feudal era. So that's an interesting concept to consider because they talk about way in the past episodes, Trikio mentions that in order to defeat Karimaru, like, time travel is necessary. So I wonder if that kind of like connects with it. Since Toa has never transformed into her human self when she was in the modern era is because it doesn't exist. It's that whole concept of like demons don't exist, spiritual powers don't exist. So I guess there's no reason for her to transform into her human form. There's no, it's like it bypasses the rule because the era is different. So that's really interesting. So the fight between Nico-Sin and the Demon Slayers and Setsuna are continuing on the outside of the cave, and unfortunately because of their efforts to stop Nico-Sin, the barrier is starting to gradually disappear, exposing Moroha and Toa. So Nico-Sin finds them, and interesting enough, crazy to think that this guy is so powerful enough not only to spread a miasma throughout this mountain, killing the mountain and drying it up, but also he's able to turn his enemies into stone, which we see Toa and Moroha unfortunately go under. Just before Nico-Sin takes Moroha and Toa's stone bodies to Lord Konton, Setsuna stops him and also frees them as well. Also leading up to the very end where the sun finally starts to show through the cave and Toa reverts back to her former self. I really kind of liked this little part of the episode because it's really kind of like, it gave me old vibes of the old episode, seeing Inuyasha finally regaining his half-demon, his demon powers at least. And also there was very nice little subtle, like, music right there from the original episode, and I thought that was really cool nod as well. In the very end of the episode, unfortunately, Moroha loses her bounty once again, which I think is super hilarious. I really am hoping that probably in the next few episodes we might be getting an explanation as to what Moroha is saving up for. There's so many different theories out there, but I'm really interested to know exactly from her words what it's going to be, because I feel like each and every episode Moroha is becoming more and more trusting with her cousins, and she might open up to them more eventually. So we'll see how that goes. In the end of the episode, we notice that Konton witnessed everything and figures out the weaknesses of half-demons and the Night of the New Moon. So we will probably be expecting a fight probably on another episode of the Night of the New Moon. But I feel like Toa is basically the most powerful of the group, I would say. So yes, that will probably weaken the group a little bit, but I'm interested to see what future fights we're going to be seeing, because more than likely at this point, since we know this fact, we're probably going to see a human Toa again. I'm also interested to know, since her hair grows, I wonder every time she turns into a human it gets longer and longer. At some point in the episode, I even noticed that she looks a lot more like Rin when she has her black hair, especially with her brown eyes, since Rin did also have brown eyes as well. But the fact that her hair is growing, I was just interested to know if we're going to continue to see that hair growth as the series continues. Alright guys, well, that's basically my thoughts and reactions to episode 12 for Yashahime. If you guys liked this video, please give it a like. Comment down below maybe what you guys expected from the episode, what you guys thought from the episode. What are your theories? What do you think is going to be coming up next? Thank you all for watching. Don't forget who loves you. Bye.